and welcome back to me talking about whatever the hell animated thing I want to talk about. Hi, I'm Shelby. Welcome to Ginger Boom Studios. Guys, we did it. We got to 20 subscribers. That's so cool. I'm so excited. I haven't been posting frequently until recently, so that's really exciting to me. So thank you so much for subscribing. Hey! It has come to my attention, though, from the analytics that 85% of you are not subscribed. Rude. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I got this idea from beauty YouTube because I have a lot of fun watching a lot of them, and some of them do like speed reviews of products. I thought, what if I did speed reviews of things that I've watched lately that are animated? Because a lot of these are on like Netflix and Hulu, and a lot of them are originals, or they're owned by big companies like DreamWorks. So using any of those clips is typically a one-way ticket to Copyright Town. I learned that the hard way when I just did Nico Way to the Stars, because only one clip kept getting copyright claimed. So I had to put like a clip inside a clip. I uploaded that video like 6 times. I'm not kidding. So before I get into it, if you could like and subscribe, maybe comment, that'd be cool. What have you watched lately? I've been watching a lot of stuff because I'm in horrible pain, and yeah. So it's good to see all you new guys. Hi, and let's get going. If I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at a list the entire time. I watch a lot of things and I can't fucking remember any of it. So keep that in mind as I talk. I'm going to try and keep these as fast as possible just because I can go on long tangents sometimes, and I think that it's important to try and keep these nice and concise. Okay, the first animated show that I've been watching lately is Hilda. Now, I will firmly admit I've seen like 6 episodes 20 times because it's my dog's favorite show. They really like Twig. Like my dog Ginger will just watch Twig every second he's on screen. So I kind of have just been tuning it out, which sucks, and I need to go back and just like really watch the entire thing from start to finish, because like I've seen snippets of basically everything, but my brain has just started tuning it out because it's my anxious dog's comfort show now. So I love Hilda so far. I've seen many bits of episodes, obviously. Like I said, I've seen some full episodes, and it's just a really good show. Like, I love the color palettes, I love the designs. I think it's a really good show for kids, honestly, and I like that it deals with a lot of complex topics, like moving being really upsetting. I moved when I was 10 and people acted like I was being crazy, but I left behind my home and my family and my friends because my parents decided to move, and that was actually really upsetting for me. So I really like that it tackles things like that, and it also tackles how people impact wildlife and the environment, and I think that's really cool. So I'm gonna give Hilda a 9 out of 10 simply because I haven't seen all of it and I need to rewatch it, basically. The next show I watched was The Hollow. Now, I only watched season 1 and I've watched the start of season 2. I didn't think I was gonna like this show. Admittedly, I don't love the style of it always, and I think some of the animation is a little wonky. However, I've been complaining on TikTok for a while that I think there's not enough genres of animated shows that I feel like are aimed towards like teen / slightly older kids, and I think this is an absolutely great place to start. It's a great sci-fi show. It was so interesting, like I couldn't stop watching the first season, which rarely happens to me, and I really need to jump back into the second season. I'm pissed at Netflix for canceling it because I feel like Netflix always does this. They start a really good show like Tuca and Birdie or The Hollow, and then they're like, well, sorry if you liked it, too bad. Yeah, I think The Hollow was like a really good show. I don't want to spoil it for any of you, but like definitely my taste of show, definitely very good. I'm gonna give The Hollow an 8 out of 10, and my reasoning is because a lot of the male characters look super off in that style. I don't know what it is. It's just like, especially I can't remember the main guy, but he has like a huge forehead and it's very off-putting. But there's a lot of like diversity, which is great, and it's really well written, I think. So I would definitely give The Hollow a chance. And maybe my rating will change after I watch season 2. I don't know, but I'll keep you guys posted when I do another one of these videos. I am conflicted about this one, and I made a TikTok about this one already, but I watched F is for Family in its entirety. I know there's another season coming out, and I will probably watch it, but I'm just gonna go into it really quick. I think F is for Family could have had a lot of really interesting things to say about trauma and about the way women were treated. There's a lot of like blatant homophobia and racism because it takes place in the 70s, but they didn't have anything to say about it. A lot of it was just like, hey, here it is. This happened in this time period. And it wasn't funny or entertaining. I think there were so many parts of it that were entertaining, and I did like some of the trauma discussion. Like, you really see Bill be really fucked up by his parents, and also their daughter is clearly also really fucked up, and you find out why Frank is so fucked up, and like that's really interesting and cool, but at the same time I feel like it says nothing about those things. It doesn't really say much. It's just like, yeah, this happened and this is how intergenerational trauma happens. I'm like, yes, we know how it happens. I don't feel like we need to see more of it. I don't know. It's just, like I said on, I don't know if I said this on TikTok, but I liked it better than like Family Guy. Liked it better than a lot of adult animation, actually. I have a bone to pick with a lot of adult animated shows. But it's very hard because every time I felt like I was getting close to some of the characters or feeling for them in a way that like made me root for them, they would drop the F slur. Or they would say lesbian in a derogatory way, or they would do something severely traumatizing to their children. Like, it was just hard to watch. And I know that I am not the target audience, and I said that in my TikTok. I am a 27-year-old queer person, lesbian, you know. I'm a 27-year-old lesbian. It's not for me. Like, it wasn't made for me. It's clearly made for white men. I know that, who particularly probably grew up in the 70s. I would even say as early as the 50s. I understand that, but I don't have to like it, you know? I felt like there were so many times when it was so close to saying something, and then it just wouldn't. I think if you're looking for a good display of just like, hey, this is what intergenerational trauma looks like, the show is fine. But I think even though it has a lot of entertaining moments, it's just really lukewarm for me. What would I rate F is for Family? I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10 because again, there were a lot of conversations that I felt like were interesting and could have gone somewhere, but then they didn't. So will I watch the next season? Yes. Am I excited about it? No. Moving on. The next one I watched was the last season of Kipo and the Age of Wonderies, and like I said on a TikTok already, I love this show, but I hated the ending. I hated it a lot, and I feel like this is like a case of this show needed an extra season, and it needed better pacing. For just the last season, I just felt like it was very rushed, and I understand they probably had like budget or like time constraints or something. I'm pretty sure I heard that they wanted a 4th season, but Netflix wouldn't give it to them. I just felt like the animation for where Hugo, spoilers, skip this if you don't want to hear it. I felt like when Hugo basically like sacrifices himself and like tries to stop Dr. Amelia, the animation made it look like he died for nothing. It looked like he did less than nothing, and the fact that it didn't really do anything at all made it incredibly frustrating. And I just think the message of like, if you do really bad things, probably because someone else did something bad to you, then you can only redeem yourself by dying. And I hate this trend in media because it's so many villains. Catcher just proves you can do a really well written redemption arc. Also, Zuko does as well. We always talk about Zuko. I just feel that because he worked so much on himself, you know, in the last season, and we were really seeing him trying to be forgiven and like work on himself, especially towards the end, it was so frustrating. He just died basically for nothing. I don't know. I just didn't love it. Kibo overall is a really good show. So I would give like the entire show like a probably like a 9 out of 10 again. Like it's a very good show, but like season 3 probably gets like a 7 out of 10 for me because there were a lot of episodes I really liked and thought were good, but it just that the end made me mad. Also, I just really liked Hugo, which is part of my problem, but like Hugo and Wolf being the two obvious gay siblings and teaming up and being great was like the dynamic I knew I needed, and they finally gave it to me, and then they killed him. I just, no thank you. No thank you, Kipo writers. I know it was a comic before, I know that this was probably part of the plot from the beginning, but like, I feel like if you're gonna go that route, you have to execute it better because it feels so unfulfilling to be that invested in a character and their development and then just off them, like, I don't know. Anyway, next, The Willoughbys. I watched The Willoughbys a little while ago, but you know, I'm just counting a bunch of stuff that was in the last couple months. I fucking loved The Willoughbys. I didn't think I was going to, because sometimes like 3D stuff just especially doesn't hold up well for me. I don't like it sometimes because like it gets really dated really fast, I find, like faster than 2D for certain things. I don't think The Willoughbys is going to be dated ever. I think they did a fantastic job. I think that the textures and the models and the very stylized designs is going to help it stand out forever. I think The Willoughbys was phenomenal. I know it was based on a book, but whatever they did to translate it from the book to screen was amazing. I think The Willoughbys is an incredibly nuanced and complicated story that we need to be talking about, like what happens when your biological parents are abusive, what happens when they're abusers and they're not good people and they don't get better. I think The Willoughbys was absolutely fantastic at that, and as somebody who has complex post-traumatic stress disorder from like childhood neglect and stuff, I just thought it was fantastic. I thought it was a great representation of like abused children, and also just talked a lot about adoption and the foster care system and how it's broken and how it doesn't work very well. I thought it was very good. I would highly recommend The Willoughbys. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10, which is rare for me, especially for movies, but like I just loved it. I thought everything about it was great, and I replay it sometimes just so I can hear it. Like I thought the voice casting was great. I thought the entire like design and the type of motion and just, oh, the color palettes, the backgrounds, everything was great. It was very much something I didn't think would be my taste when I saw it, but I clicked on it and I am so glad I did. It's wonderful. Please go watch The Willoughbys on Netflix. It's great. Next, I finally did it, kids. I finally watched The Dragon Prince in its entirety. The Dragon Prince didn't seem like something I would love based on the style. However, I will say the style grew on me. I didn't like it a lot at first, but then, you know, the more I looked at it, the more I liked it. I know a lot of people complained about like the initial frame rate of the animation. I kind of like the wonky frame rate. I don't know. A lot of people complained apparently, but like I liked it. I don't know. So here's my main problem with The Dragon Prince, and you guys all know that I'm social justice warrior, snowflake, whatever. You guys all comment shit like that on my TikToks. The creators, my guys. Here's the thing. I think The Dragon Prince is very good, and I really enjoyed it. And there were loads of characters I liked, and I think that the story was overall very well-rounded, very good. I didn't even mind the heterosexual romance, like it was fine. I don't think, no matter how good the story is, it justifies supporting creators who are like that, TM. No show, no media, no matter how entertaining, no matter how much you enjoy it, is worth the suffering of the people who worked on it. It just isn't. And they both just sound like dicks. So, I don't know. Just because I'm into animation and I like reviewing stuff, I might continue to watch it, but I just wish they would hand it over to somebody else at this point, because there's no coming back from this shit. There's no coming back from this. And I just, if you don't know what's going on with them, I'll link a couple articles below. It's not a fun time, but I do recommend reading it just because, you know, it's good to know about what's in the industry. Trigger warnings for sexual assault and workplace harassment and microaggressions and that kind of stuff. It's a lot. I think it just particularly sucks because the more I got into it, before I really knew the full extent of like what they were doing, I wanted to work there. I thought that would have been really cool after I graduate, and it kind of would have been a dream job, except now I know that it's not because of how they treat their employees. So just something to think about. I'm going to rate The Dragon Prince really quick. See, if we didn't have to think about all this, like the social implications and like the actual people, it would be different, but we do. And so just for the media itself, like I know a lot of great people worked on it who aren't them. So I would definitely give it like somewhere between an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. It's very good, and I think it's very entertaining. There's some parts where I'm kind of like, I don't know, but like, it's very good. But I wouldn't feel comfortable giving it like a 10 or anything. One, because it's not as good as like some other things that I give 10s to, and also just like, I can't ignore that, you know? Like, as someone who wants to work in the industry, I can't ignore that I would be one of the people that they would probably be dicks to. So just keep that in mind, guys. Next. Okay, this is a short. This isn't a full-length anything, but it's If Anything Happens, I Love You. I'm just going to briefly talk about it because I don't want to give it all away. It's only 12 minutes. I sat down one day and was like, I have 12 minutes. I did not have 12 minutes. Do not sit down and watch this unless you have like a couple hours to cry. It was really well done. I really liked it. It's about basically the aftermath of like a school shooting, and it's very well done. I really enjoy that kind of style and that kind of storytelling. It reminds me a lot of when I went to the Ottawa Animation Festival years ago, and it was just wonderful. It was a wonderful story. It was really good. It's really hard to watch though. If you get upset about things like I do, like I cried at the Willoughbys, so I definitely, of course, was gonna cry at this. If you cry and you're not prepared, don't watch this. I'm gonna give this an 8.5 out of 10. I think it was really well executed, really good, but not my favorite short film ever. You know, there's some that I like more, and it's just personal preference, but still very well done. Congrats to the people who made it. It was very good. It's definitely worthy of a lot of respect. So, moving on. I finally watched Song of the Sea. Song of the Sea is fantastic, phenomenal. It was beautiful to look at, absolutely breathtaking. I really want to watch Wolfwalkers because it's the same studio who made that. I watched one of their other movies, The Secret of Kells. I really like The Secret of Kells. I love, you know, the kind of fantasy, super cool fairy tale type story. I love the texture. Texture is my favorite thing about animation. Like, if there's a texture that's good, I will dig it. And the story was great. I'm definitely gonna give it a... See, this is the problem. Was it gorgeous to look at, and did I seriously enjoy it? Yes. But I'm kind of comparing it based on like many things. I'm gonna give it like... it's so hard because like the Willoughbys was so good, and it's just like, they're different, but they're both really good. I'm also gonna give Song of the Sea a 10 out of 10, I think. Because like, I enjoyed it, but in a very different way. You know, like there's very different vibes to many different movies. Like, I enjoy a Miyazaki movie differently than I enjoy Song of the Sea, and I enjoy Song of the Sea a different way than I enjoy the Willoughbys, you know? Like, it's there's so many different ways to measure your entertainment, but I think overall the craftsmanship, the storytelling, just like the textures, and the character designs, like they were phenomenal. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Glenn Keane's first animated movie by himself, you know what I mean, directing, Over the Moon. Over the Moon was something that I was unsure about. I heard a lot of people talking smack, kind of basically being like, it's not like Disney level, and I'm like, of course it isn't, you fuckers. Disney is a multi-billion-dollar company. Disney can throw money at any problem and make it go away. Of course it isn't. But then I watched it and I was like, what the hell are you guys talking about? It was better, I think, than anything Disney's come out with recently. Like, it was a really good story. It was a totally different point of view. It was great to see a story about, like, grieving a parent and, like, not moving on, but, like, accepting it and accepting that you're going to have to, like, deal with the grief, but then that you can move on slightly and be happy and accept new people into your life in a very creative and fun way. They did that in an absolutely amazing, creative and fun way. Philippa Sue is also incredible singing in that. It was fantastic, and I think it'll hold up really well, personally. I think it's a really good movie. I don't understand why we have to compare everything to Disney, though. Like, Disney, again, is now a multi-billion-dollar corporation that owns basically everything. Comparing Glenn Keane, who worked at Disney, to Disney seems very unfair, and also a lot of the things you're comparing him to, he made. So, can we not? I think it was a fantastic movie, and I really liked that it focused on a culture that was different than just a lot of the stuff we see from Disney, which is just America or Europe. You know, it gets a little boring after a while, but I'm definitely going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. Again, like, it was supremely entertaining. The reason I'm, like, knocking off a point, I guess, is because, like, how do I put this? There are certain textures in 3D animation that I just feel like aren't going to hold up super well. And that's because, like, you know, there's always evolving technology, there's always new stuff, like I said in my last video, and just, like, you know, there's always going to be something new. And it's just important to, like, really think about what you're doing and why. So, like, I think most of it will hold up really well, but I think some of it we're going to look back and we're kind of be like, I don't know about that choice. I don't know about that. But I think, like, the colors, the character designs, like, the animation itself is going to hold up beautifully, and, like, I think it's a great movie. And I've watched it, like, 3 times now, which, again, not super regular for me, especially for movies, so good job, Glenn Keane. It was amazing. Next. We are now in Hulu territory. I do not use Hulu as much as I should, even though I frickin' pay for it. Don't ask me why. Anyway, I watched the new Addams Family movie. I'm an Addams Family fan, you know, like, I really like, I'm pretty sure the movie came out in the 90s. I like that one, and I have seen some of the original, you know, that kind of stuff. I don't think it's as bad as everyone's saying it is. But I also don't think it's good. Like, I saw the rating on Rotten Tomatoes and I went, yeah, that makes sense to me. I liked some of the character design stuff. Like, I liked that Wednesday had, like, noose pigtails. Like, I thought that was fun. I agree that I feel like it doesn't hold up a lot of the charm. And while I didn't hate watching it, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever watched. It also wasn't the best thing I've ever watched, and that's okay. You know, it doesn't have to be. What would I rate it? Oh, also one more thing. I think they did this on purpose, but I think it's gonna hold up really poorly because it already holds up really poorly. They made, like, all of the normal people's, like, houses and hair and, like, all their textures, like, super plasticky and smooth, and I'm 100,000% sure they did it on purpose. And at first I was like, that's kind of a cool idea, but then I was like, but it doesn't feel like it goes with the rest of it, and it also looks really dated already, and it just came out. So it's not really a choice I would have went with, I don't think, but obviously I wouldn't be in control of it. I'm just an animator. I would animate what they tell me, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna give it like a 4 out of 10, and that's just because you know, it was lukewarm. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. It wasn't the best thing I've ever seen. Next, I watched Sinbad for the first time ever. I know. I've watched most of the old, you know, 2D animated DreamWorks stuff, but I just never watched that one. I don't know if it just wasn't available when I was a kid or what. I'm a big fan of The Road to El Dorado and The Prince of Egypt. Everyone loves this movie, and I just gotta say, it was not it, Chief. I know that people are probably gonna roast me for that, but I didn't like it that much. I liked a lot of the animation, I liked a lot of the action scenes, and I liked the fluidity, I liked Eris, the goddess, obviously. I liked the character designs fine, and I liked the idea. I mean, obviously it's not their original story, it's based on something else, but I feel like they didn't do a great job with one particular part of the storytelling. And hear me out, I know this movie's old, but I'm just gonna say it really quick. I don't think it was believable that Marina was suddenly into Sinbad, because Sinbad was a raging misogynist, and then suddenly he was like, oh, you're capable, so I'm just gonna stop being misogynistic towards you. I feel like there was so much action scenes that there wasn't enough time to develop the fact that, like, he realized, hey, maybe I should stop being such a raging misogynist. No, it felt like he was like, you're it. You're the one. I like you and I'm attracted to you, so I'm gonna stop being a misogynist to you. Like, Marina had Proteus, my guy. The king of respect women juice. And he looks well groomed. I'm just saying, you're telling me that she chose Sinbad, raging misogynist extraordinaire, over that man? That's insane to me. There was not enough build up for me to believe that. And also, Sinbad and Proteus had way more chemistry, in my opinion, than him and Marina for the entire, like, I don't know. It was a no from me. I did actually like how they blended a lot of the 3D and the 2D, even though it's pretty obvious. I know it was like earlier attempts, so I am going to give it a pass for that. I think it did pretty well for what it had going on for it. What would I rate this? Again, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, so I don't want to rate it like lower than the Addams Family, because I think that would be rude and just not true. But like at the same time, my enjoyment of it was significantly lower than most others that I've seen recently. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I think that's kind of generous. But roast me in the comments if you like Sinbad. I don't know. Okay, the last one we're gonna talk about is back to Netflix. So I don't know why I watched this show, because I didn't like it. So I'm just gonna quickly roast it. It's Hoops. I'm not surprised it got canceled after one season, because it was so fucking lukewarm. Oh my god. I didn't like anything about it. I actually found it incredibly boring for most of it. I liked a couple of the kids sometimes. Most of the times I didn't, though. I hate this trend of, like, the main character being the supreme total asshole. And, like, there aren't that many consequences. And also, why am I supposed to find this funny? Why am I supposed to find this grown man screaming all the time funny? It's not funny. It's just sad. I don't know. It's just not good. It was so lukewarm. My favorite characters were his ex-wife and his father, because they hated him so much and they bonded so much over that they started hanging out, which, same. I would want to hang out with you guys too, because I hate that man. Oh my god, he uses children for his own gains. He tries to, like, get a kid a prostitute. It's a whole fucking thing. It's gross. The show is gross and it's not fun in any way. Also, the anti-black woman stereotype about the principal is just gross. And it's been done so many times. I feel like adult animation is just like, let's say the most outrageous things we can, and maybe we'll get a laugh out of shock humor. I just feel like that's so cheap now, and it's just so lazy. Like, Bob's Burgers makes me laugh every time without doing that, and I just feel like 90% of these shows, actually it's more like 99% of these shows, just rely on this shit, and I hate it. So what am I gonna give Hoops? I can't believe I'm gonna say this. I enjoyed the Addams Family way more than I enjoyed Hoops, so we're gonna give Hoops 2.5 out of 10. Yeah, I don't love the stereotypy characters. I don't love glorifying an asshole some more in a way that, like, I can tell exactly who's gonna like this show, and it's people who identify with this guy, you know? It's just, I think they thought they knew what they were doing. I think they thought that it was gonna be like a BoJack Horseman or like a Rick and Morty, where, like, you hate this guy, but, like, you think he's funny and you're rooting for him slightly or whatever, but you also know you're not supposed to identify with him. No. The show had no self-awareness, so I don't think it could have come up with that kind of a thought about itself. Anyway, let's go on to the last one. This is an honorable mention, and it's because I started watching it and I haven't been able to get into it, and I just have to ask one question after I tell you what it is. Alright, it's Archer, because people kept asking me on TikTok about my opinions about Archer, and I had no opinions about Archer because I haven't seen much of it, and what I have seen is like bits and pieces. I just have one question. Does it get better? I'm only on season 1. I understand that most season 1s are really rough, even for comedies. Like, Bob's Burgers season 1 even isn't like my favorite season of Bob's Burgers, obviously. Like, it's not the best one. But does Archer get better, guys? Like, I don't know if it's just not my comedy style or what. Like, I don't actually hate the art style. That doesn't bother me that much. I think the premise is really interesting because, like, instead of being like a family sitcom like 90% of them are, it's like about a spy who's a terrible person, which is super interesting. And it seems like a lot of people in his life hate him, which is totally fair. But at the same time, like, I'm just like, am I supposed to laugh at this? At what point does the, like, outrageous thing, like, become funny? I know a lot of people like Archer, and they're not gonna like my opinion on this so far, but, like, I just don't know if I want to keep watching it. So please tell me, does it get better? Like, does it get funnier? Because so far, I haven't laughed once, and I think I'm almost done season 1, so if you've seen Archer and you like it, can you let me know if it gets better in the comments? I'm just not digging it. I'm trying to watch it for TikTok and for here, but, like, I just am not into it. So, I'm not gonna rate Archer yet because I haven't seen it yet, but I just wanted to let you guys know I have been watching it for you guys. So, let me know, does Archer get better? That wraps up my list. I hope you guys liked this video. I thought it was fun to do, like, rapid fire opinions on animated things I've been watching. If you could like and subscribe and maybe give me a little comment about what you think about any of these, that would be super cool. If not, don't worry about it. My TikTok and my Instagram are Ginger Boom Studios. I will link those articles down below when I find them. Super not fun, but just in case any of you want to read what's going on in the industry, that kind of thing. I'm gonna make a new video soon. I said I'm gonna review one more movie, and I definitely am, but I also wanted to come up with, you know, something else while I'm trying to find more bad movies to look at. I think I'm gonna do, like, an animated shows and movies that I'm excited are coming out in 2021, because, like, that's super fun. I think it's cool to see what's coming out. I'm excited about Disenchantment and a couple other things, so let me know, what are you guys excited for, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much. It's really cool to have 20 people watching. Hi! But I will see you guys in the next one. and I hope you all have a good day. Bye!